Whatever goals it is that you have in life, believing in yourself and your ability to achieve them is the key ingredient to getting that success. Wondering how to get more belief in yourself? Check out this video. Hi, my name is Tiffany Toombs. I'm a high-performance mindset coach that has worked with thousands of people across the world to help them develop more confidence and belief in themselves so that they can let go of the limiting beliefs that keep them stuck and truly succeed beyond their wildest dreams. In this video, I'm going to share with you the top 3 things that you need to do to build that trust back in yourself so that you can achieve more faster. Now, the first thing that we need to do when we are looking to build more belief and confidence in ourselves is we have to identify the limiting beliefs that have been created throughout our lifetime that have stopped us from trusting in ourselves and believing in ourselves. Now, what most people don't realize is that as adults, 95% of the belief systems that we have were planted in the mind between the ages of 0 and 7 years old. So before you even truly understood what the world was about, you had all these belief systems planted in your mind. Now, if you constantly heard things from parents or from friends or family members or teachers or bullies at the school playground, things like, "You're so lazy," or "There's no way you can do that," or "You're dumb, you're slow," whatever it is. I hear these things from my clients all the time. That a teacher picked on them for getting an answer wrong, that a parent told them that they were lazy or couldn't do things, or that a parent wouldn't let them do things because they couldn't do it right. Parents wanting to protect them because they were a little bit slower than the others because they simply learned different. What people don't realize is that this plants seeds in your mind that impact you later in life. And so a lot of times the mistrust that you have or the disbelief that you have in yourself and your ability to achieve something didn't even come from you. It came from your interpretation as a child about what other people's words meant. Or you heard other people saying things about you and you took it on to believe it. Because especially between the ages of 0 and 7, we also believe that parents would never lie to us. So we have to figure out what were the comments, what were the events, what were the belief systems that were planted in our head that are causing us to have this disbelief, this self-doubt, this lack of confidence in our ability to achieve it. Because the truth is none of that is who you actually are. The other piece that you want to look at is how have you started to identify yourself? There are 2 powerful phrases that human beings say so often that allow them to stay stuck in disempowering patterns of behavior. Those word patterns are I and I am. Whenever we say those things, whatever comes out of our mouth after that, we believe to be true. We actually hypnotize ourselves to create that reality. So if I say, well, I'm just slow, or it just takes me longer to do things, or I'm just not good at learning new things, right? I'm just a perfectionist. Well, what that does is it tells the brain, the reticular activating system, which is the GPS of your mind, to create more of those circumstances in reality. And so we want to figure out what are these identities that we've given ourselves. It doesn't mean that's who you are. Just because you were a perfectionist a day ago or a minute ago doesn't mean that's who you have to be in the future. It's important to know that the identities that you've taken on were chosen to help you survive past experiences. But are they helping you survive now? And is surviving going to lead to thriving? Probably not. So we have to figure out what identities, what limiting beliefs, what things we've taken on as true from our past that are causing us to have this doubt in ourselves. Now, before I share with you the second thing that you need to do to build more belief and confidence in yourself, I'd love to hear from you. What limiting beliefs or what circumstances from your past are resonating with you or coming to mind as I'm sharing this information with you? Go to the comments below and let me know. Now, the best way that you can start to build this belief and confidence in yourself is to make small commitments to yourself that you can achieve daily. Now, what most people do is they create these big, massive commitments to themselves. I'm gonna go to the gym every single day this week. I am going to cook a meal from scratch every day this week. I am going to reach out to 100 people in my business every day this week. They start really big. And what this does is it just validates the belief systems that we have that we can't do something, or that we never follow through, or that we're not good enough. Where you are in your life right now is your memorized state of being. And I'll do a whole other video explaining exactly what I mean by that. But where you are right now is your default setting. It's what you're used to feeling and experiencing. So what most people do is they think, well, if I'm gonna make change, I have to go big or go home, right? That's one of the worst sayings that we have in society. There's so many sayings in society that we have that actually just keep us stuck. And go big or go home is one of them. You don't have to go big, because if you go big, you are more at risk of sabotaging yourself and validating that self-doubt that you already have. So what we want to do is we want to pick small daily habits that we can layer in, things that we will easily be able to achieve without having to think too much, or without having to really push ourselves too much. So for example, to start, you could start with, I'm gonna drink 1 glass of water every day. That can be where you start. Now, as you build this trust in yourself, like, wow, I showed up for myself every day this week and I drank a glass of water, then we can start to layer in more and more complex or bigger tasks. But if we start there, when we have no belief in ourselves, you will end up in self-sabotage. The mind will actively resist, the mind and the body will actively resist you making change. So set yourself up for success. Go big or go home. Just remove it from your vocabulary. Forget that you've ever heard that saying before, because it does not serve you and it does not help you move forward. Now, before I share with you the third way that you can build this trust and belief in yourself, I want to remind you to subscribe to my channel. I am putting out brand new videos every single week, just like this one, to help you truly become the master of your mind and the creator of your life and your reality. Go to that subscribe button below, click that, and like this video while you're there. The third thing that we can do to make sure that we build this belief back in ourselves is to focus on our effort, not the outcome, and to celebrate every single win. And I'm going to share with you the science behind why this is so impactful. When we only celebrate our successes, when we only celebrate our wins, what happens is we put ourselves in a fixed mindset. Now, what this does is it tells us that where I am today is as good as I'm ever going to be. And this is where most people live their life, right? Well, I made one effort and I didn't get the outcome that I wanted, and so I'm just not good enough. But what we actually know is that when you put yourself into a growth mindset, when you focus on the effort, then you're more likely to keep going and looking for harder and harder tasks. So they did a study on school children. And what they did was they split the children into 2 groups and gave them math problems. Now, one of the groups got praise and validation, which is something that we all as human beings naturally seek. One group got praise and validation when they achieved a successful outcome. The other group got praise and validation based on the effort that they put in. So as long as they were showing up and they were giving effort, then they would get praise and validation. So what happened was, as the math problems got harder and harder, the first group, the fixed mindset group, they didn't want to do anymore. They just decided, you know what, I'm not good enough for this. So I'm just not even gonna try, because I know I'm gonna get it wrong. And so they knew they wouldn't get the validation. Now, not getting validation, because most people live in a survival mode, not getting validation when others are is painful. And most people in today's world seek instant gratification to avoid pain now. And so that group, the fixed mindset group, they just didn't want to keep trying because they knew they wouldn't get the validation. The growth mindset group, on the other hand, they were happy to keep doing harder and harder problems and to keep testing themselves and challenging themselves because they knew that they would still get the validation. Now, I get it. It's the real world. Results matter. And so what I'm saying is focus first on the effort that you're putting in and then notice the progress. Because when we continue to put in effort, we will get better. But if we stop and we just say, you know what, I can't do this, or I put up one post and my business is not making 6 or 7 figures yet. I ate healthy for one day and I don't have a 6-pack yet. What is going on? When we do that, what happens is we stop ourselves from ever wanting to make an attempt again. We stop ourselves from getting better and improving. We live in a world, like I said, of instant gratification where we can have everything at the snap of a finger except for growth and except for reaching our potential. So focus first on effort and then on the progress that you're making. The second thing is we want to make sure that we are celebrating all of the progress. Really take time to reflect on where you've been. As human beings, we'll never reach our final destination because our minds are literally programmed to seek more and more. So when you set a goal and you say, well, I'll celebrate when I achieve this goal, by the time you hit the goal, you've already set your sights on the next thing and the next thing. And so you never end up celebrating. But what we know is that when we celebrate, even when we celebrate a milestone or we celebrate, hey, I showed up for myself today, I'm so proud of myself. What that does is the body releases dopamine, which is our reward hormone, and it feels really good. And so what happens when we release dopamine is it actually strengthens the pathways in the mind to continue taking that behavior or to continue doing that thing. And so when we celebrate, hey, I showed up for myself, it makes us more likely to show up for ourselves the next day because we strengthen that pathway in the mind. And then when we celebrate showing up for ourselves the next day, then it increases the chances of the next couple days that we'll show up for ourselves. And over time, you'll start to see, hey, I thought I was moving forward 1 inch at a time, but now I'm a mile ahead of where I was before. Now I'm 10 miles ahead of where I was before. Now all of a sudden I've reached this goal and I'm living this life that once was just a dream. So it's important that we take that time to reflect on how far we've come and to celebrate the efforts and the progress that we're making, because that structurally changes the brain to encourage us to take more action in the future. Now, if you want more tools to help you totally reprogram your brain so that you can stop self-sabotaging and getting in your way, I would love to have you join me in the 6-day Mind Mastery Challenge. This challenge is totally free for you, and what I've done is I've pulled together the 6 most powerful tools and exercises that I take my paying clients through to help them create dramatic transformation in their life. All you have to do to join the challenge is go to nlpworksheet.com or click on the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.